I think most students, from my discussions with them, would like to stay at least for some experience in the United States beyond their university days.
After graduation, I don't really want to go back directly to China. The very valuable experience as you need to get work experience in US.
Working experience here will help me to find a better offer in US or back in China. Only the education backgrounds and the master's degree in US won't make me so competitive.
Some students have found positions, whether it's a short-term position or a longer-term position, with some of the businesses in the Milwaukee area that have a global emphasis or global initiatives. For example, Rockwell Automation or Briggs & Stratton or some of the finance firms that are doing financial projections and working with trade.
I found a job about 2 months after I graduated. I don't have many interviews, but then this one, the current job, they call me and have an interview with me. Before that, I have an internship. Maybe that's part of the reason that they want to hire me, because I would have the experience work in the public accounting before.
I'm seeing a lot more students from Asia that are majoring in finance, majoring in accounting. A lot of them are very bright students in every way, and a lot of them are doing very well. They're finding internships with some of the big four accounting firms like Ernst & Young, PwC, KPMG, Deloitte.
I just finished my interview with KPMG. It is really relaxing, not as nervous as I expected before.
We had a very comfortable conversation. Yeah, we talk to each other and communicate with each other. Yeah, I think it's not bad. It's not a bad interview. I really enjoy it.
They do have a superior analytical advantage. They have that strong attention to detail, and they're willing to put in the extra hours, the extra effort to be successful. And I think that's one thing that really sets them apart.
I had a graduate assistant 3 years ago, and she graduated and she got a job with GE Healthcare in their financial division. And she's been very, very successful. And GE was very open to the idea of sponsoring her visa, so she ended up being one of the lucky ones, so to speak. I've had a student who did the same thing with Rockwell Automation. She's at Johnson Controls now. So there has been success stories. The reality is that the environment has changed here. To plan on doing the OPT and to staying on is becoming far more unrealistic now than it has been in the past.
The job hunting experience is really tough for me. Last summer, I began to find internship here. I applied several positions, but I can't set up interviews. This afternoon, I just have the first interview. The company is Northwestern Mutual. I talked with the girl from Northwestern Mutual, and she really liked me. She said, "Oh, I hope I can give you some sponsor, but based on the salary system, they just pay like commercial, so they won't sponsor anyone."
I was planning to get a job here after I graduation, but it is kind of more difficult than usual.
Now in America, it's so hard to find a job. The economy is not so good. And a lot of my friends are really struggling to find a job, and I haven't heard any good case.
With the economy in China exploding too, there are many opportunities for students to go back.
One of my friends, she's in New York, and she came here the same year as me, and she graduated as I think it's marketing, and then she went back to China because she couldn't find a job in America, so she went back to China, and then she found a pretty good job in the local city.
China now is really great. There are a lot of good opportunities to work there.
Get back to China, it is also a good option.
My recommendation is to do a two-faceted planning. What happens if you can get an internship and you can get an OPT, and possibly you can get an employer to sponsor you. And then a plan of what happens if you finish your studies and you stay here for the 3 months that are allowed, and then you have to go back. So start kind of developing your relationships back home, so that if you are in that kind of a position, you have a good place to go back to.